So this is a variation today on Bhuta Shuddhi, which is a cleansing practice for the entire body. It's very gentle. So lifting and rolling the shoulders, breathing in, raise the right arm. Breathe out, turn your head away from the arm. Breathe into the center and breathe out, lowering your right arm. Breathe in, raising the left arm. Breathe out, turn your head away from the left arm to the right. Breathe in, come to the center. And breathing out, lower the left arm. Lift and roll your shoulders. Clasp your hands behind the back of your head and feel that your hands are comfortable there. Just get your neck potentially lengthened, feet hip width apart, and just gently sway from side to side. You can lift your heels. The chin is encouraged slightly towards the chest here, and that begins to activate the vagus nerve, which is very key for de-stressing and anti-inflammation. So note to self. And then just very gently come to the center, release your arms, and then come to the more familiar swaying from side to side. And then just very gently come to the center, lift and roll your shoulders, breathing in, circle your hands up, come through the center and then come to lying on the mat. And we're starting with the base chakra, which is the Muladhara chakra, and the sound for that is Lam, L-A-M, or pronounced Lum, depending on which tradition you are in. So just lying on your back, and just very gently turn your head to the left, come to the center and turn your head to the right, and come to the center. Breathing in, raise your right arm up above you, perhaps resting the back of the right hand on the ground, and breathing out, turn your head to the left. Breathe in, come to the center, and breathing out, lower your right arm back down alongside you. And breathing in, raise your left arm up, perhaps resting the back of the left hand on the ground. Your elbow can be bent or straightened. Breathing out, turn your head to the right. Breathing in, come to the center. And breathing out, lower your left arm back down alongside you. Extend your right heel away from you, and that will encourage the right hip to just slightly move downwards. And then release and relax the right foot. And now extend the left heel away from you, which will just stretch out in the left hip and release and relax. Extend both heels, toes up to the ceiling, and then just release and relax. Bend your right knee and place the right foot on the floor. Bend the left knee and hug the left knee into the chest. Apana. So apana is the downward energy from the hips down all the way through the legs to the feet and beyond. And just very gently circle your left knee a few times in one direction. And then very gently circle your left knee a few times in the other direction. Dropping your hands to the back of your left thigh, extend your left leg up to the ceiling and extend your left heel. Point and flex your left foot a couple of times. And then begin to walk your hands up the back of your left leg, bringing your left leg towards you. You can stay here. You can opt to drop your right hand, optionally behind your head and neck, breathing out and lifting your head up towards your leg. Or if you're very strong in your abdomen and it's not going to disturb your neck, you can keep both hands on your left leg and just lift your head up towards the left leg. And then just let your fingers massage the back of your left calf as you bring your head back down to the ground. Bend your left knee in towards you once more, the Apana or Apanasana variation. And open your left knee out to the left as you place your left ankle on top of your right leg, a figure of 4. Hands either palms down or palms resting on the ground, and start to sway both knees in the same direction from side to side. And your hips will slightly lift as you sway from side to side. And then cross your left leg over the right and just drop both legs to the right, lifting your left hip off the ground. Your hands can stay where they are. You can bring your hands to your abdomen. As an option too. And then abdomen in as you bring the knees up and let both knees drift over towards the left, lifting your right hip. And here you can optionally raise your right arm up diagonally to the corner of the mat, and your left hand might like to hold your lower abdomen. Just a very relaxed pose as you breathe in and out. Feeling the stretch under your arm, your right arm. Tummy or lower abdomen in as you bring your knees back to the centre. Lower your right arm, uncross your left leg from your right. Both feet are on the floor, both knees are up to the ceiling, and just gently sway your knees from side to side, lifting the hips off the ground. And you can optionally join in with the head. It doesn't matter which way you move the head, either in the direction of the knees or away from the direction of the knees. Your hands can be palms down or resting on your abdomen. Bring your knees and your head back to the centre. You can adjust your feet at any point, but keeping your left foot on the ground, your left knee up to the ceiling. Hug your right knee into your chest. And just very gently, as we did on the other side, circle your right knee a few times in one direction. And then circle your knee a few times in the other direction. Come to the centre and drop your hands underneath the right thigh, extending the right leg up to the ceiling. You can keep a bend in your right knee. And once your leg is up, extend the right heel and gently point the toes. And do that a couple of times, flexing the foot. And then begin to walk the hands up the back of the right leg. Taking the option whether you want to keep your hands on the leg, whether you want to drop one hand behind the head and neck to support it, lifting the head up for an exhalation, or whether you're strong enough to hold the leg and lift your head up without any support. And then just massage your fingers into the back of the right calf as you bring your head back down to the ground. Hug your right knee into your chest. And then very gently open your right knee to the right, resting your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Hands are either palms down on your abdomen or palms down on the floor. And just very gently sway your knees from side to side. Your hips will lift off the ground. And then you can very gently, when you come back to the centre, cross your right leg over your left. And very gently drop the legs to the left. Your hands can rest on the abdomen or palms down. Just be comfortable. A lower abdomen in as both knees come to the centre, and then very gently let both knees drift over to the right. Your left hip will lift. You might like to lift your left arm up above you towards the diagonal edge of your mat. That's an option. Your right hand might like to rest on your abdomen. Feel the stretch if you have chosen to extend your arm above your head, and your knee, your elbow can always be bent. Feel the stretch under your arm. And then very gently engage your lower abdomen in towards your spine as you bring both knees back to upright. Lower your left arm, uncross your right leg. And once more, either hands resting on the abdomen or hands palms down. Just gently sway your knees from side to side. And as you sway your knees, just notice where the movement is initiated from. Is it your feet that are initiating the movement? And just try letting your feet, pressing them down into the mat, let them do the guiding. And then you can bring your attention to your knees. And are your knees doing the movement, initiating the movement from side to side? Or just move your attention slightly up towards your hips, your hips, pressing your hips down into the ground that's initiating the movement. Bring your knees to the centre and hug one knee and then the other knee into the chest. Just rock gently from side to side, and your elbows can come to touch the ground if that feels nice for you. It depends how much you want to rock from side to side. Let your head join in. Your head might want to go in the same direction as the knees, but there is no right or wrong. Just do what comes naturally to you. Come to the centre with your knees and holding your thighs behind with your hands, maybe clasping the hands, raise the legs softly to the ceiling and just circle the ankles in one direction. And then circle the ankles in the other direction. Stretch the toes out and release and relax. And just gently stretch the toes out again and release and relax. Hug the knees into the chest. And then breathing in softly, keeping a bend in the elbows and the knees. Raise the soles of the feet to the ceiling and the arms up to the ceiling or even up and behind you. Again, your choice. Breathing out softly, hug the knees into the chest. And breathing in, soles of the feet go up to the ceiling. And your arms can go up as well or go behind you, wherever feels good for you. And breathing out, hugging the knees into the chest. Slide your hands down your shins and hold your shins just above the ankles so that the inner thighs are opening now and the big toes, or the big toe joints are vaguely aiming towards one another. A form of supine Baddha Konasana. And in this position you can stay static or subtly move a little bit from side to side. Your movement will be millimeters as you just softly massage one side of the spine, lower part of the sacrum, the lower part of the back of the upper part of the sacrum, and then the other. And then just drop your right foot to the floor, right knee up to the ceiling, and come into a half happy baby. So classically you would hold under your foot so that the fingers are on the outside of your foot. But here you can choose whether you do this or whether you hold the outside of your foot. The knees are coming towards the floor. And again, you can just gently sway from side to side in your half-happy baby. Hug the left knee into the chest, place the left foot on the floor and transfer your attention to the right side and choose your version of half-happy baby on the right side. Either your hands come underneath, fingers on the outside, or hold the outside of the foot. Classically, yoga comes from the inside, little fingers on the outside. But whatever works, and then just very gently rock slightly from side to side. And then release, hugging yet once more, both knees into the chest, rocking from side to side. And this time now hugging both knees into the chest. Still holding both knees, let both knees drift away from you to arm's length. Hugging both knees into the chest and letting both knees drift away at arm's length. Hugging both knees into the chest and letting both knees drift away. And hugging both knees into the chest as you massage along the lung vertebra, particularly L4, L5. All the heavy duty work happens. And then very, very gently taking your time to roll to the side. We're going to be coming up onto our hands and knees, but take your time to come onto your side, perhaps to your right side if there's room away from your heart, and coming up very gently and very gradually onto hands and knees. Hands are hip width, hands are shoulder width apart, knees are hip width apart. And just sway your bottom from side to side. If you want to imagine drawing a figure of 8 with your bottom, it can be horizontal or it can be vertical. That's an option too, but you could equally just stick to swaying your hips from side to side. And if you exaggerate the swaying, imagine looking down on yourself like a fish swimming in water, you might find that you're making a sort of S figure, which is a side to side, almost slightly reptilian movement. You can bend your elbows as well. And then gently come to the centre. Stretch your right leg back, tucking your right toes under. And turn to look over the right shoulder. And then turn to look over the left shoulder. Come back to the centre and lower the right knee. And then stretch the left leg back. Turn to look over the left shoulder. And then very gently turn to look over the right shoulder. Come back to the centre, lower your left knee, and breathing in, dipping your back, either looking up or along the mat. Breathing out, rounding your back. Your chin comes to your chest. Breathing in, dipping your back. Breathing out, rounding, chin to chest. Breathing in, dipping your back. And breathing out, rounding, chin to chest. And then come to a seated position, coming into Baddha Konasana. So that is soles of the feet together. And sitting up, you can hold your shins and just use your thumbs to massage the insteps. You can use your thumbs to massage the insides of the ankles. You can use your hands just to gently stroke the tops of your feet. That connects to the lymph system in reflexology. So just go to freestyle wherever you feel you might need some movement. And then very gently come to an easy pose, sitting in a cross-legged position. And sitting up, breathe in and breathing out, rounding the chin to chest, leaning back somewhat. So it's a little bit like a seated cat-cow, breathing in, sitting up. And breathing out, round chin comes to chest. Breathing in, sitting up. And breathing out, rounding chin to chest. Come to sit up and just lightly touch the fingers to either side of you, lengthening the body. And then just slide your left hand out to the left, bending your right elbow, chin in slightly, and sliding your left hand to the left as little or as much as you would like. Feel the stretch on the right side. Feel that you're between almost two panes of glass, so there's a lateral stretch. Tummy or lower abdomen in as you press your left hand down to come to sitting upright again. And then just very gently slide your fingers to the right, bending your left elbow and sliding the right hand out to the right. You can come to keep the left elbow bent or stretching out. Feel that you're turning upwards, your chin still comes into the chest. And then tummy or lower abdomen in as you sit up. Lift and roll your shoulders. Breathing in, turn to the left with your head, and breathing out, turn to the right. Breathing in, turning to the left, and breathing out, turn to the right. Come to the centre. Just hold your knees with your hands, lifting and lengthening your body. Lower abdomen comes in. Left hand goes to the right knee, and right hand goes behind. Press your fingers or your hand down as you lengthen the body, and breathing out, turn towards your right. As you breathe in, lengthening the body, and breathing out, turn to the right. Stay here for an in and an out breath. Breathing in, come back to the centre, hands on either side, or both knees, lengthen the body, and then bring your right hand to the left knee, left hand goes behind you. Breathing in, lengthen the body, and breathing out, turning to the left. Breathing in, lengthen the body, and breathing out, turning to the left. Breathing in, just lengthen and stay here as you breathe out. Come back to the centre. Just walk your hands slightly forward, compensating that slight turn. We've worked through the basic lower chakras, and then we're going to come really towards the heart. So we come to the salute to the sun aspect. So you can either walk your hands forward, coming onto your knees and coming up, or if you want a more elegant or graceful approach, just roll to the side. Come onto your knees, tuck your toes, and roll up gently, vertebra by vertebra, to standing. And as we come to the heart, which correlates very much with the summer energy of the heart and the small intestine, the sound of the heart is yam. So there are mantras for each chakra. Hands together at the heart center, breathing in, circle the hands up, touch with your fingers, and then breathing out, bring your hands down through the center, bending your knees, touching your hands to either side of your feet, and stepping back with your right foot and your left foot, keeping it high in plank, and then instantly dropping your knees to the ground. Come to your elbows and then snaking through to lie on your front. And stretching your arms out in front of you. Slide your hands back to your chest, elbows in, hands down. Come back to kneeling, and then tucking your toes, come to downward dog. Feel that you can adjust your hands. Feel that you can adjust your feet. Walk the dog by bending one knee and then bending the other knee. And you might find that your hips sway as well. And then bend both knees back to the ground. Hands go to the left. Right foot comes up. Hands either side of the right foot. Lower abdomen in. Feel that you can move your right foot out further to the right if you want this for balance. And feel also that you have an option to tuck your left toes under. Lift up, you can use your hands against your leg to support and balance you. And then breathing in, circle your hands up. Looking ahead, stretch your fingers and then just touch your fingers. And then breathing out, lower your fingertips to the ground, either side of your right foot. Tuck your left toes underneath, lift your left knee, and step your left foot to your right foot. Hands go on the shins in a half lift, Breathe out, bend your knees and bend your elbows. Breathe in, press your feet, your hands into your shins. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, soften your knees, press your feet into the ground and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Circling the hands up, just touching fingertips. And then bring your hands back down through the centre to the heart centre. Circling the hands up, touching once more, fingertips. Come back through the centre, bend your knees, bend your elbows as you come down to fingertips either side of your feet. Step back with your left foot, right foot in high lunge plank, then both knees to the ground. And then come onto your elbows to snake through to lying. Hands out in front of you, stretching your body. Slide your hands back, elbows into your chest. Press down to come to kneeling. Tuck your toes. Come to dog. Feel free to move your hands and your feet. And then walk the dog by bending one knee and then bending the other knee. Feel that you can sway your hips. And both legs straighten. Your heels don't have to touch the ground. Then bend both knees back down to the earth and move your hands to the right to give space for your left foot to come up and feel that you can adjust your left foot to give you more balance. You may walk your hands if you want to up your left leg, come to high kneeling and then stretching your hands up in front of you looking ahead, fingertips together and then breathing out, bring your hands to either side of your left foot. Tuck your back right toes, tummy or lower abdomen in. Lift up your right knee and step your right foot to your left foot. Hands on the shins, breathing in, lengthening. Half lift, chin in. Breathe out, soften your knees and soften your elbows as you curl forwards. Breathing in, press your hands once again into that half lift. Stay here as you breathe out. And then breathing in, press your feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Circle your hands, touch the fingertips, and breathing out, lower your hands. Lift and roll your shoulders. Inhale, exhale, hands together at the heart centre. Circle your hands up, touch fingertips. Soften as you roll down through the centre. Step back with your right foot, right knee to the ground, left foot, left knee to the ground. Dipping your back, looking up. Rounding your back, chin to chest, as you bring your bottom towards your heels. Stretching out. Come back to kneeling. Tuck your toes, coming into a soft dog. Walking the dog. And then walk your feet to your hands to your feet. Coming to a half lift, hands on the shins, lengthening the spine. Breathing out, soften the knees, bend in. Breathe in, hands on the shins. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Circle your hands, fingers, tips touch. Come back through the centre to the heart centre. Release your hands alongside you. Lift and roll your shoulders. Clasp your hands behind your back. Knuckles aim to the floor, opening your shoulders. And then release your hands, sliding the hands down the backs of the legs. Hands either side of your feet, step back with your left foot, left knee down, right foot, right knee down. Breathing in, dipping your back, either looking along the mat or looking up, and breathing out, rounding your back, chin to chest, and bringing your bottom towards your heels. You can either have your feet flat or toes tucked under, stretching out. Come back to your knees, tuck your toes, and coming into a downward dog. You can keep your knees bent, you can alter your feet, you can make them slightly wider as you walk the dog. And then both knees straighten. You always can keep a slight bend in your knees. And then walk your feet to your hands to your feet. Soften your knees. Hands onto the shins as you half lift up, flat back. Breathe out, bend your knees and bend your elbows. Breathing in, hands press into the shins. Stay here as you breathe out. And then breathing in, press your feet down as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Fingertips touch. Breathing out, bring your hands through the center and come to bend your knees as you come to lying on your back. And we move now from the heart up towards the throat as we do Advipada Pittan variations, which is a form of bridge. So coming onto the back, and then knees bent, feet on the ground. Palms this time alongside you, palms down. And just very gently sway your knees a little bit from side to side. Your head can join in, moving either in the direction of the knees or away from the knees. Feel that you can adjust your feet at any time. You might like to bring your feet slightly closer to your bottom as you do a couple of pelvic tilts, so flattening your back as if you're going to lift your bottom, and then releasing your back so that there's that little gap at the lower back area. And flattening the back as if you're going to lift the bottom up, and then just releasing. And next time as you flatten your back, actually do press your feet down, lift your bottom a little bit or a little bit more, bend your elbows and raise your elbows above your head. Your chin comes in. You can stretch your arms up behind you or keep your elbows bent. Breathing out, lower your back vertebra by vertebra back down to the ground, and you'll find that your arms naturally follow. Hug your knees into your chest. Soles of the feet to the ceiling, palms of the hands together through that V of your feet. Hug your knees back into the chest, and breathing out, let your feet come back to connect to the earth, palms down. And just a couple of pelvic tilts. And then when you're ready, press your feet down, lift your bottom, bend your elbows above, lifting your arms above, your chin comes into your chest. You lift up as little or as much as you would like. Your knees are straight, they're tracking, they're not splaying out at all. Feel that someone's holding your knees. And then breathing out, lower your bottom, begin to lower your arms. And then once your bottom's down on the ground, hug your knees into your chest. Soles of the feet go up to the ceiling, and palms of the hands come together. Extend your heels. Bend both knees into the chest, and then relaxing as you let one knee and then the other, both feet connect with the ground. Keep your knees up, feet where they are. Bend your elbows and just hold either your wrists or towards your elbows as you just let your arms, backs of your hands connect with the ground if they go down that far, and just sway your knees from side to side. And then breathing out, lower your elbows. And then come to lying on your front into a Sphinx pose, which is lying on your elbows. Feel that you can make any adjustments to be comfortable. The further your elbows are away from you, the less of an angle on your lower back. Looking at the ground, so that the back of the neck's long. Just wobble your bottom from side to side, letting your heels fall out for a moment. Sacroiliac stabilizer. Tuck your right toes under, your right heel extends to the ceiling, and lift your right leg as you extend right heel back fractionally. Release the right leg to the ground. Let the right heel fall out to the side, wobble your bottom from side to side. And then the same, tucking your left toes under, lift your left heel back, extending it, left leg off the ground a millimetre or two. Release the left leg to the ground, heel out, wobble your bottom. Then elbows out to the side, make one hand on top of the other, or you can make fists. Just rest your head on your palm, on your backs of your hands, however you want, fists or backs of your hands. Knees slightly wider apart, and bend your knees and just sway your bottom from side to side. Rocking slightly from one front hip to the other hip. This should be very soothing. And then come to the centre, lower your legs, bring your knees in slightly together. Slide your hands back. We're going to come via kneeling to a seated position. If cross-legged doesn't work for you, then just have your legs out, but otherwise come to a very gentle cross-legged position. Connect your hands to the heart, chin to chest. Breathing in, open your hands. Breathing out, bring your hands to your chest, chin to chest. Breathing in as you open your hands, feel the air just touching the hands, flowing through the fingers, chin to chest. So air is the element connected with the heart in this tradition. Hands out, breathing out, chin to chest. And the air connects to the sense of touch, hands and the heart. Breathing in, breathing out. And then breathing in. As you breathe out, bring your hands to your chest, chin slightly in, and just connect your attention to the base chakra, which is at the base of the spine. And then just move along the spine as we go through the chakras, coming up to the sacral, the lower abdominal chakra, then the navel, coming through to the heart, and then again we came to bridge the throat, coming into the third eye, central thigh, the Ajna chakra, and then the crown of the head. And then very gently take a bow for yourself to have a very lovely day ahead. And thank you very much for joining me today.